Chapter 23. Reminiscences as a Village Pastor. My witness is, and I speak it for the honor of God, that He is a good provider. I have been east upon the providence of God ever since I left my father's house, and in all cases He has been my shepherd, and I have known no lack. My first income as a Christian minister was small enough in all conscience, never exceeding £45 a year. Yet I was as rich then as I am now, for I had enough, and I had no more cares, nay, not half as many then as I have now. And when I breathed my prayer to God then, as I do now, for all things temporal and spiritual, I found Him ready to answer me at every pinch, and full many pinches I have had. Many a pecuniary trial have I had in connection with the college work, which depends for funds upon the Lord's moving His people to liberality. My faith has often been tried, but God has always been faithful and sent supplies in hours of need. If any should tell me that prayer to God was a mere piece of excitement, and that the idea of God answering human cries is absurd, I should laugh the statement to scorn. For my experience is not that of one or two singular instances, but that of hundreds of cases in which the Lord's interposition for the necessities of His work has been as manifest as if He had rent the clouds and thrust forth His own naked arm and bounteous hand to supply the needs of His servant. C.H.Spurgeon. When I became a pastor at Waterbeach, the people could do very little for my support, and therefore I was an usher in a school at Cambridge at the same time. After a while, I was obliged to give up the latter occupation, and was thrown on the generosity of the people. They gave me a salary of £45 a year, but as I had to pay 12 shillings a week for 2 rooms which I occupied, my income was not sufficient to support me. But the people, though they had not money, had produce, and I do not think there was a pig killed by any one of the congregation without my having some portion of it. And one or other of them, when coming to the market at Cambridge, would bring me bread, so that I had enough bread and meat to pay my rent with, and I often paid my landlady in that fashion. There was one old man at Waterbeach who was a great miser. On one of my visits to the place, after I had removed to London, I heard that, in his last illness, he had a bed made up in the sitting-room downstairs, and ordered his grave to be dug just outside the window, so as to reduce the cost of his funeral as much as possible. One of the friends who was talking about him said, "He was never known to give anything to anybody." "Well," I replied, "I know better than that. For one Sunday afternoon he gave me 3 half-crowns, and as I was wanting a new hat at the time, I got it with the money." "Well," rejoined the friend, "I am quite sure he never forgave himself for such extravagance as that, and that he must have wanted his 3 half-crowns back again." "Ah, but," I answered, "you have not heard the whole of the story yet. For the following Sunday the old man came to me again, and asked me to pray for him that he might be saved from the sin of covetousness. "For," said he, "the Lord told me to give you half a sovereign, but I kept back half a crown, and I can't rest of a night for thinking of it. Dr. D. A. Dowdney, describing an interview with Mr. Spurgeon at Westwood, wrote in the Gospel magazine for March 1892, among other subjects brought up was that of Dr. Gill's commentary. I was asked by Mr. Spurgeon how it was that I was led to reproduce it. Its truthful character was urged as a reason, as well as its great price, putting it beyond the power of ministers in general to possess it. My own copy, simply bound in plain canvas boards, had cost me 6 farthings 10 shillings. Moreover, I was anxious to set up an industrial school, and thus find occupation for the youths of the parish. In what volume, asked Mr. Spurgeon, did the names of the subscribers appear? I could not recollect, but withdrawing for a moment to his study, he quickly reappeared with the 4th volume of the Old Testament, the last issued upon the completion of the work, and pointing to his own name, said, "You published it in half-crown parts, or else I could not have taken it in." Here was a fair specimen of Mr. Spurgeon's character, his proverbial simplicity and honesty. How few in like manner, amid such surroundings, and having attained, as he had, to such a name and such a popularity, would have made that frank statement, "You published it in half-crown parts, or I could not have taken it in." The following inscriptions in Mr. Spurgeon's handwriting are in his set of volumes of Dr. Gill's commentary. In volume 1, I subscribed for this and took the monthly parts. C.H. Spurgeon, 1852. To this author's pulpit I was permitted to succeed in 1854. C.H. Spurgeon. In volume 5, I subscribed for these volumes of Gill in monthly parts, and had them bound December 1852. C.H. Spurgeon, living in Cambridge, Baptist minister of Waterbeach. In April 1854, unanimously elected pastor of the same church, which once met in Carter Lane, under Dr. Gill, and then Dr. Ripon, now New Park Street, Southwark. In the year 1861, this church migrated to the Metropolitan Tabernacle, Newington Butts, having far outgrown the space of New Park Street Chapel. In volume 6, many sneer at Gill, but he is not to be dispensed with. In some respects, he has no superior. He is always well worth consulting. Charles Haddon Spurgeon, 1886. In volume 4, as stated by Dr. Dowdney, Mr. Spurgeon's name appears in the list of subscribers to the work. Spurgeon C., Union Road, Cambridge.